Howdy, it's Thomas from Full Circuit Electrical. Today we're going over like a full heat pump refurbishment. I've got Snickers here helping me out. Kiki's out there on patrol. Got the main frame off. I'm already like half an hour into dismantling this unit here. And I thought I'll better start filming now rather than later. Just a few basics of what is happening at the moment. I'll try to go through a bit more of this unit, a bit more in depth. And this I'm going to be mounting up on the roof, so I've got some roof kits here, which you'll see more later, and then also some plastic primer and some white gloss spray paint, because we are going to be spray painting the shell of the indoor unit, because it is pretty manky looking. I have given it a little bit of a clean, but as you can see here, that's on the inside of the unit. The outside was horrible. And of course it is raining today, so I'm very stoked about that. But here's the outdoor unit here. It's had its better looking days, but we'll get this tidied up. I think I'll get used to pull it up on the roof. For also mounting it up on the roof, I have this roof mounted kit here, which I've used already, so I'm pretty familiar with it. And that is what the outdoor unit is going to sit on. And the heat pump did come with some 1/4x1/2 pear coil, so hopefully it's like 2 meters long, so I might try and make it work rather than trying to, you know, just scrap that and use fresh ones. So it's not in too bad condition, but you know, give it a clean. The inside of the pipes would probably need a little bit of a wipe down, but it's pretty good. And if it does fail, then I'll put a new one in. So I put the foam back on these pipes here, then put a bit of tape around it and cable tie. You probably don't need to, but you know, I wanted to make sure the pipes don't bend while they're just kind of sitting there, and when I put it back in the unit, so keep them all nice and safe. Indoor unit is pretty dry. I spent majority of the time just giving this indoor unit a really good clean. Pretty happy I was able to take the whole thing apart to be able to get the fan a clean and the drain system and just the cover. So the front cover is still pretty yellow. That didn't really come out. It's not too bad, but you know, as you can already see compared to that heat pump, there's quite a bit of difference in the colour. So definitely we'll try to give that a paint. So yeah, just let it dry in front of this heat pump here. And then I'm going to go on the computer, do a bit of work, and then I'll give this a spray paint, and hopefully the colour looks decent. And also, like this stuff here, I gave this a nice good scrub, because this is where the air blows out, so that would have just been, you know, when I gave it a clean, I used some car wash and the car wash scrubber, and it was just running off here in a really grey looking water. Since I was in the cleaning mood, I also gave the outside of this a nice clean. Took the cover off and just gave it a little vacuum just to get rid of any little bits of dust. I might just need one little good scrubbing over before I put it all back together. I've now prepped the indoor pipes a little bit more, so I've put these little plastic things in the pipes. I don't know their correct name, but I've put those in and I've cut them to size and put some insulation tape and some like that foam stuff around it. Probably a little bit overkill, but you know. And here we have the main pipe that I'm going to be using. So I've taped everything up just to try and stop anything from getting in there. I've put the plastic stuff in all the way because I don't want to be bending this pipe. It's about 3 meters, so I'm going to have to make it work. I do have more pipe just in case this is too short, but ideally I want to use this, otherwise it's just going to be put to scrap metal. And here my little spray painting booth. It smells pretty bad at the moment, but I used some masking tape to cover that black part there up, just to make it look a bit nicer. But the colour's coming through pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. There's still some of the old colour. You can kind of see the colour difference there. So it is looking like, you know, quite new plastic. I made sure to get the shine on it. So this is kind of the second coat I've done, so I'll probably spend a few hours coming in here for 5 minutes every now and then, just to keep on top of it and make sure not to rush the spray paint, because this is what is going to last the entire time. So I gave that unit there a nice clean, so I'm going to have to pull it up onto the roof. A little bit rusted in all the screws and stuff, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. I might replace the screws further down, and again I've just taped those there up just so no water gets inside there. And the outdoor, it is 40 kgs as well, so it will be a nice pull up the top. here we have the main part of the indoor unit. So the paint's turned out pretty good. There was some original paint here with my thumbers. You can kind of see it there in the lighting, but not too bad. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I accidentally did get some spray paint on the inside of there, so I might have to scrape that off if it doesn't shine through. But this is how it's turned out. Pretty good. A couple, you can see that on there. I know that just wipes off, but you know, a couple little imperfections. But overall, you know, considering this isn't brand new, that looks pretty good on the camera. You can kind of see some shine and non-shine there, but the overall look, you're going to stand back and it's going to look pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with that actually. I do have a little bit more paint left just in case, but I am running pretty low on the spray can. And yeah, these are the filters at the moment, so they are stained a little bit orange, but they were like completely bright orange before. It was horrible. Sergeant Kiki. Yeah, and it's night time now, and it is almost 8 o'clock. Just got to shoot off inside and show you the bathroom that I've been doing. Also, remember to spray paint these little clip-on bits for that part there, so they just go on the bottom. Yeah, they hide the screws, so make sure not to lose these, and also paint them. So I've got the new fan grill up there. What I've done is I've put this meshing in between the fan grill to try to stop as many bugs as I can from getting inside the house. Hole through the wall, and I've opened this side of the wall up so I could make my hole into the roof through there, because the ceiling access does not let you go past here. There's a big beam, so drill it up from the top, and that way I can put my pipes straight through the back, because what you're meant to do is you're meant to put those pipes there and connect them up through here, but since I'm running pretty tight on my pipe space, I'm just going to do it from the back, because this cord here is permanently wired into the unit here itself, and I will need to get a 3-core and earth from here to the condensing unit. What I got to do now is I got to get the hole saw size, so a little bit bigger than this. Here we go. It's one of the grey ones. Yep, used once, 70mm. I cut that perfectly out, so yeah, that 70mm will fit perfect, no more or no less. So now I've got to open underneath the house up to get my supplies. Oh, it's wet. There we go, and I put my bit of timber here the other day when I had to go under the house check, LED light switch, and a few materials kind of scattered all around. I probably will need another length, so I've got to crawl all the way over there. So here around the lovely attic, not much space. Quick side mission, I went and got this from underneath the house. It's in plastic that I'm just going to roll over those bats over there so I don't get extremely itchy, and stapler. Little side mission, because I like to, I just dropped my tape measure. Little side mission because I like to get distracted very easily. It's made it pretty slippery to go across, so I'm probably more likely to slip through the roof now, but we're almost where we want to be. Oh, it's pretty dark. I need another light down here. But yeah, a bit nicer. Should stop the fluff and dust getting everywhere, because yellow bats are the worst, and then underneath that it's inchworm fluff, which is the worst. So luckily for me, I've got the 2 worst bats you can have. Just as well there aren't any pink ones for a hat trick, and I do have some white fluffy cloud ones over there. I think it might help, you know, making the house a little bit warmer as well. Probably not by much, because the house is already pretty warm. And yeah, I just have this dehumidifier up here running for the past few days, about a litre or 2 of water a day that this is capturing. Alright, so here are my measurements here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts I need to do, and just write them all down on that piece of paper, so I'll go cut those, and we can whip the purlins in. Purlins as in the purlin screws. Joists, rafters, bracing. Let's just call it the bracing. Alright, I have all, it's a timber cut. H3 4x2, so pretty good. It has been used before, but it'll be good for up here. Since I don't have a lot of pipe, I got to think about the most practical use. So I do have so if I had the pipe going up the roof there, I kind of want the unit a little bit more forward because I want the pipes to go up, down, and then into the unit. So if you don't understand that, then you'll see like in a couple minutes. This fluff is horrible. I have vacuumed like all of this and like leaf blown it all as well. Quick little drawing. So going from the edge of that to the center of there, and from the center of there, and it is the fourth. There are screws in all of these, so I can count how many down to get in the right spot. Still raining. Right, back in the garage, and it's time that we put this roof mount kit together. It does feel a little bit complicated because I forgot how to do it, but I do remember it is actually pretty simple. The only thing that is annoying is I do know I need to make a new hole in here because the pitch of this goes down. I think these are made for a bit of a steeper pitch roof, whereas the pitch of my roof is pretty flat, so I just got to make this a bit more flat rather than up. So let's put it together and then we'll adjust the roof angle. So this is what it comes with, you know, 4 of those, 6 of those, and a few of these. So this is pretty much what I did on the roof. I went up on the roof, I put my level on, and then I put the vice grip underneath, and then I just moved the vice grip to whatever height I wanted it, tightened it, make sure it was obviously level, and then just got a vivid out the hole that I want, and then took it down and then cut it. So this is this side done here, so you know, pretty straightforward and simple. There we have everything tightened and tightened up, so no real way to have this facing in or out, so I just had both of them facing in just to make it look a bit tidier. I think the upper unit, I actually might have them both facing downwards, but yeah, doesn't matter. It will be a little bit annoying if one is different, but it's not too bad. I will paint them eventually with the roof. But yeah, everything's pretty solid. The way I screwed them on before, and they were exactly 525 width apart, so you know, a little bit of a fluke there. So let's get this up on the roof and measure it out. Alright, so I've drilled the holes on the roof from where I wanted to be. I did line a set of screws up to be on this joist there, and then I did do one in the middle, so I got that there, and then one on the far left. There we have it. All the supports in for the heat pump. So I've got just big purlin screws in everywhere. I've kind of gone a bit overboard, and I also used a few more purlins on the existing timber work of the house just to give it a bit more strength long term. And purlins all in there, all up in there. And so what I've done is I've lined it up so the purlin that I'll screw down from the top for the heat pump will just go straight through this one and this one here, and also pull them together a little bit. I have drilled up there to kind of hold it, but going down from the top will be enough to kind of probably just get around, you know, an inch at most into this timber here. The other purlin will go straight into this rafter there, and these two here, the other one will go into there, and I just put these on either side just for the support, but luckily I was able to make use of this here. So they aren't perfectly even, but they're the most efficient spacing for just overall use, and everything is pretty. And I did bring the planer up here because I made my cuts a little bit bigger than what they were meant to be, so I could just make them perfectly snug. The only bits I don't really like is along this bit, along this rafter here. You can see there's a gap on both sides, it just kind of warps out. This one here is pretty flat. In a perfect world I would have liked to have that timber on a bit of a taper, but it's not too bad. It does the job and it's pretty strong, and I have, I think, yeah, I have 3 purlins, so I've got 2 going on either side and 1 up the middle, so you know it's not going anywhere. As you could see, I was pulling on it pretty tight. Yeah, and from the planing it's pretty, you know, got heaps of sawdust up here, so we'll need to give this a vacuum before the end of the night, and it is night time outside. It's probably around 7 o'clock, but we've got this done. Screw the heat pump up. For the pipes to go out, I might be able to drill up in there, go down and just tidy the pipes just underneath there. Bit of a bend, I don't know if I'll be able to bend it that much, but and then I also need to get some power from the laundry, which is like underneath this bit of plywood here, so I need to take this up, get some power from the power point. There's enough load there to use, and up and under and through to the outdoor. Alright, so it is the next day. I've got the pipes all connected up there. This morning has been non-stop rain, but I was up to about 2 o'clock in the morning last night because it did stop raining for a few hours. Units there, pipes all connected up. Right, you can hear the rain is pretty heavy, but it was pretty good last night to have a few hours or so for it to, the roof dried up a bit with a towel and just over time, so I was able to seal everything up so there isn't any leaks. I sealed the top of there so no bugs will get through, but no, it's pretty good. I did have to put this ugly block here though and just Tech screw it on, because the cover for this pipe here had a Tech screw going like right here, so unfortunately if this was over a little bit more it could have been a bit safer, but I'm pretty happy with where this came through. I did damage the pipe a little bit there when I was Tech screwing it, because I got a Tech screw there and on the side there, so that's holding that in place. Cut these out here so the pipe will neatly fit through, and then yeah, so I got the outdoor unit completely hooked up. This outdoor unit just needs one 3-core on earth, and then this power goes straight to the indoor unit. And yeah, so I've got this little pipe here. This will go into this pump there, and then this will pump the water out because it's going uphill, so there's no fall in the heat pump. Got a few switches. I've got a few switch wires coming from the indoor unit here, which will be all connected into that. So I just got to take these floorboards up, give this some power, and then it's pretty much all good to go. There was just enough pipe to go through, maybe like 100 mil more than what I wanted on the outdoor, but I'm pretty happy with how this is all turning out. And I did have a little leak coming out of here last night, which I tried to seal up, and it doesn't look like there's any moisture on here. You can see the stain is from where it had been dripping, but it's pretty much stopped now. And once again, this is completely full of water, so if we take that, look, that's decent few litres of water again. So this is just overnight, so this will fill up again by the end of today. Yeah, it does look a little bit ugly there with that block sticking out, but it does need to be there. I could clean it up, but it's not too bad. Like a decent hour or so later, I've got the drain connected up. I'm just about to heat shrink these power cables up, and then so we have the water that goes out, so a couple little C clips on there just to hold it in place so it doesn't pull through or anything like that. That's also why I've cable tied them, so I don't pull the wires and yank on them. And then yeah, the blue core there. Here's the end result of all the connections going into the indoor unit. All the cable ties are probably quite unnecessary, but I wanted to get a pretty cool end result. There is a 60mm hole up there. I will fill it up with some expanding foam just so stuff doesn't fall down here over the years, or insects like to crawl in and around and get into the house through there. I probably will just put a bit of no more gaps around there, just to try to keep everything as airtight as possible from bugs and fluff getting into the house. Here we have it, the cover is on. That looks pretty much like a brand new unit, considering how yellow and dirty it was before. It is pretty good. There's about 100mm of space between the top. I tried allowing as much as possible, but the ceiling probably will be getting dropped in the future because I will put some new jib on it. So hopefully I can get into that back bit easy enough later on in the day. I've got the hole patched in. I just need to give it another sand, and then I will need to paint, and then maybe another fill over, but it's pretty well hidden. I'm pretty happy to leave it like that for the moment. Indoor unit is looking pretty nice up there. I did accidentally make a bit of a mistake with here. I got some spray paint on the inside, and then I tried to like sand it off, and then I kind of scratched it, so you can't really see the numbers there. But the main thing is the remote that came with it is the wrong one. But I have got a ton of vacuuming to do. I have done pretty much the hallway and the kitchen and the lounge. I still need to go over it with the proper vacuum cleaner, but just using this wet and dry one here to get rid of all the debris on the ground. But now I got to take it up into the attic and sort this mess out up here. Little look at the pipe work there. That conduit there has the free core and earth going into it. I did shove some bats up the hole, so hopefully it works. Condensation pump just to the left. I'm quite pleased that I actually cut a little bit of a channel out for those pipes to go in. It just kind of tidies it all together, I reckon. And that block doesn't look too bad now. Probably would look better without it, but it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I did have to take all of these boards up here because there is a junction box right there which I got my cable into, so I just ran it up and under. But with all the inshore fluff, it's got pretty fluffy up here. Like you can't really see on the camera, but in person there's heaps of little bits of dust flying around. Also, a quick check on the noise level. It's not that noisy up here, and the unit is right above us. It is on heat mode, the condensing unit on I think full speed, so it is kind of, you could say, blasting, and you know, nothing's rattling. I can hear it humming, but it's pretty decent hum. And yeah, and also having a good tidy out of all my tools and get them back in the van where they belong. Slight drizzle at the moment, but I'll go show you the condensing unit. I was up to about 1 o'clock in the morning doing this because it dried up enough that I could correctly put this adhesive down. So it's turned out pretty good, and yeah, that there is a big Tech screw that I had to put that block in under. So didn't really need it because I got a few big Tech screws, got 2 there and 2 on either side. So this is pretty stable, not going anywhere. Put this on silicone underneath it and then just gave it a nice spray paint. Yeah, everything kind of not the nicest, but you know, I'm going for the long-term effect with this. And then yeah, duct taped all of this, siliconed around it, and then also spray painted it as well to try and give it that bit more protection. And just check the seals in there. Yeah, it just feels like water, nothing feels oily. If anything were to go wrong, it would have happened a while ago. Yeah, and a look from the back. Yeah, and it looks like both these brackets facing in is what I've done on that unit over there as well. And then the heat pump drain, I just taped it down there, and then it's just sitting under there, so that will just flow down there into the spouting. But it's turned out pretty good. It's really not noisy. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, so this one here had enough pipe to go down and up and into it. Once again, same tape, silicone spray. And yeah, drain there. Drain's a little bit longer there. Would have been nice to have it longer on the other one. Looks a bit dicky from this side. But yeah, see, I didn't have much pipe to play with to bend it up. Cheers for watching the video until the end. This clip here, I just set the dehumidifier up to a drain, so it just runs straight into the sink because I was getting a little bit tired of having to empty it every day. So there you go.